Midnight, the echo of footsteps resonated through the silent corridors of Topkapi Palace like a secret. The fate of the Ottoman throne shimmered in the eyes of woman. That woman was one of the most powerful sultans in history, Kösem Sultan. On one side, the lives of princes. On the other, bloody intrigues in the harem. And at the center of this stormy life was a young girl. Brought to the Ottoman palace at a young age, Anastasia would one day become one of the most powerful women in Ottoman history. But who could have known that a journey starting in a slave market would turn into the story of a woman who would influence the Ottoman throne, become the mother of sultans, and one of the most dominant Valid sultans? Kösem Sultan, born Anastasia, came into the world in 1590 on the Greek island of Tinos. Her father was an Orthodox priest. As a young girl, she was captured by Ottoman raiders and brought to Istanbul. Upon arriving in Istanbul, her fate changed. Everyone who saw her was struck by her beauty and intelligence. At the time, Safiye Sultan, mother of Sultan Mehmed III, held great power in the palace, and the most beautiful and intelligent girls were selected for the harem. Anastasia was among them. In the palace, she was given the new name Mapaker. Later, she would earn the nickname Kösem, symbolizing her intelligence, decisiveness, and leadership skills. Kösem meant leader, the head of a flock. Like every concubine, Mapaker underwent rigorous training. She learned Ottoman Turkish, Arabic, and Persian, calligraphy, literature, music, and the workings of the state. Everything she would need as a future Valid Sultan was slowly ingrained in her mind. Her intelligence and composed demeanor quickly drew attention. While many women in the harem were known for their beauty, Mapaker stood out for both her beauty and intellect, and fate was weaving its threads. Because young Sultan Ahmed I, newly ascended to the throne, noticed Mapaker one day in the harem and fell in love with her. This love would fundamentally change Ottoman history, placing Kösem Sultan at the center of intrigues, palace games, and power struggles. Within the high walls of Topkapi Palace, a young sultan lived, Ahmed I. At just 14 years old, he had ascended the throne, yet his maturity and sense of justice had already won the hearts of the people. One day, while walking through the harem, his eyes fell on a concubine he had never seen before. Her name was Mapaker, with porcelain skin, long hair, and deep, captivating eyes. Ahmed I was immediately captivated. Many women in the harem were beautiful, but Mapaker was different. Not only her beauty, but her intelligence also impressed the Sultan. Legend has it that one of her words made Ahmed's love for her grow. What elevates a ruler is not just the sword, but the justice in his heart. These words left a mark on the young Sultan's heart. And so Mapaker, the future Kösem Sultan, took her first steps toward becoming one of the most important women in Ottoman history. Ahmed I married Mapaker, showing her affection unseen for any other concubine and valuing her opinions. Jealousy began to stir in the harem. A concubine had won the heart of the Sultan so quickly. Intrigues in the palace never ended. Mapaker's rise caught the attention of other consorts and even the Valid Sultan. But Mapaker was patient, silent, and calculated. Rather than making enemies, she gained allies. Kösem Sultan had many children with Ahmed I, who would one day ascend to the throne and shape the empire's destiny. Shahzadi Murad, fourth Murad, known for his strictness, disciplined rule, and severe laws. Shahzad Ibrahim, Sultan Ibrahim, later called Crazy Ibrahim, and would become Kösem Sultan's greatest challenge. Other children played significant roles in the palace and the future of the empire. Kösem Sultan was not just a mother. She had the statecraft to prepare her children for the throne. She closely oversaw their education, guiding them at every step. Her most remarkable son was fourth Murad. Even at a young age, he grew up amid palace power struggles and throne intrigues. His harsh, fearless personality bore the mark of his mother, who often told him, "Only the strong survive." But Kösem Sultan's toughest trials were just beginning. The throne would shift, child princes would ascend, and the palace would turn into a deadly chessboard, with Kösem Sultan as one of its strongest pieces. A dark day fell in Topkapi Palace. Ahmed I, only 28, died in 1617 at a young age. The people mourned the loss of a just and merciful sultan. But the palace was thrown into a storm. On one side, the sultan's death. On the other, boiling palace intrigues. Kösem Sultan, now left with her young sons, faced a historic first. To maintain order, the elder and competent prince system, Ekber Ershid, was applied, and Ahmed I's brother Mustafa Famira, mentally unstable, ascended the throne. The palace descended into chaos as ministers, valide sultans, and the Sheikh al-Islam struggled for influence. Kösem Sultan remained silent, knowing haste leads to loss. She prepared her children, acting as an invisible shield around them. In 1618, another decision was made. Ahmed I's other son, Osman II, Genç Osman, took the throne at just 14. Bold, ambitious, and reform-minded, young Osman posed a threat to Kösem Sultan, as the throne had passed to another mother's child. Tensions in the harem escalated. Mahfiruz Sultan and Kösem Sultan engaged in a quiet but deadly rivalry. Young Osman loved his mother but was also influenced by Kösem Sultan's wisdom. However, palace intrigues, janissary unrest, and ministerial conflicts would soon lead to tragedy. In 1622, a historic event occurred. Osman II was strangled in the Yedikul dungeons by the janissaries. For the first time, a sultan was killed by his own soldiers. This awakened the throne warrior in Kösem Sultan. From that point on, her sole goal was clear: place her sons on the throne and govern the empire through their power. In 1623, 11-year-old Shehzadi Murad, fourth Murad, ascended the throne, marking a historic reign. Kösem Sultan became Naibi Sultan, the official regent, and the de facto ruler of the Ottoman Empire. Ministers, janissaries, and palace residents all feared her authority. As Murad grew, a quiet conflict emerged. The young sultan, initially under his mother's guidance, sought to assert his own authority. Kösem Sultan maneuvered tirelessly, but Murad's strictness occasionally thwarted her plans. Murad's reign became known for his severe laws, banning alcohol, tobacco, coffee, and punishing night wanderers. He even disguised himself at night to roam the streets, ensuring his rules were obeyed, both terrifying and awe-inspiring the people. Behind every strict decision was a mother shaping him, Kösem Sultan. Yet Murad's suspicions extended to his brothers, leading to secret executions of young princes, leaving the harem in fear. Kösem Sultan's greatest worry was Shehzad Ibrahim, her surviving son. She employed every means to protect him, hiding him, feigning illness, and even convincing him to act insane to deceive Murad. In 1640, fourth Murad died. The throne would pass to her surviving son, Ibrahim, later known as Deli Ibrahim. Despite his weaknesses and erratic behavior, Kösem Sultan now wielded immense influence, guiding him and the state. Yet new challenges arose. Sultan Ibrahim's indulgence in luxury and the harem threatened the empire. Kösem Sultan intervened, balancing power among concubines, orchestrating alliances, and raising her grandchildren, including future Sultan IV Mehmed. In 1648, Sultan Ibrahim was deposed and strangled by the Janissaries. Kösem Sultan's beloved son was gone, leaving her to protect her young grandson, fourth Mehmed, who ascended the throne at 7. This marked a new opportunity for Kösem Sultan. As regent once again, she ruled the Ottoman Empire from behind the scenes, but now faced a formidable rival, Turhan Sultan, the ambitious mother of fourth Mehmed. A deadly palace rivalry erupted. Kösem Sultan, experienced and strategic, tried to protect her grandson. Turhan Sultan, young and supported by Janissaries, aimed to eliminate her. Kösem Sultan even devised secret plans to safeguard the throne, but Turhan acted first. On the night of September 2nd, 1651, Kösem Sultan was alone in her chamber when Janissaries and assassins struck. Reports say she resisted, crying out, "I have served this empire for 40 years. Will you kill me like this?" But the executioners were merciless. Ropes were tightened around her neck, and one of the most powerful women in Ottoman history was strangled to death. Kösem Sultan's death was not just the end of a life, but a turning point in the Ottoman court. Her legacy endured. The power of the Valid Sultan became undeniable. Palace women learned to influence political decisions, and sultans had to respect their mother's authority. To the people, she became a legend. Some called her the mother of the state, a symbol of wisdom and courage. Others remembered her intrigues, portraying her as a master of the palace's dark side. Every story showed her intelligence, patience, and strategy. A mother and a leader, she left an indelible mark on history. Power, intelligence, and courage leave unforgettable traces, and by following them, you too can unlock the doors of history. And dear viewers, we've shared the full story of Kösem Sultan and the intrigues of the Ottoman palace with you. If you love diving deep into history and uncovering the hidden side of the Ottoman Empire, subscribe now, turn on notifications, and join us for our next historical adventure.